Um,
Yeah.
so hello, my friend.
Hello. Yeah,
It's
I'm so excited for you to share this with me because, it's interesting. I think we've all um, trained with Becky, and Becky does something it's hard. You don't want to replicate exactly what she's doing. So you want to take what you've learned from her and kind of go with it in your own direction. And finding that balance, what I found kind of tricky is I want to create my own thing, but at the same time, always 100%. I can't help it but give credit to her and mention her name like in every single video I've done so far. I mean, it's hard not to, especially when I'm chatting with somebody else who's trained with her for so long, because
yeah.
it's so different than anything else than any
It's
like the love and light stuff and all of that.
yeah.
And
It's so
yeah,
different from any of the training I've had too. And I think I mean it's like a lovely place to land after all the training I've had because it's sort of
right.
like untraining my training, which is a good
Exactly.
which is a good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I don't think anybody who goes that way wants to recreate a replica of the person that's helping them unwind from all of that, but just sort of authentically express who we are in our own very unique and heartfelt ways. I just had a lovely, like in our training and classes, we will practice with each other. And it's such a great way. I mean, in almost every kind of discipline I've studied, you do that. Like you do
Sure.
practicum or like practice sessions or that kind of thing. But it's such a deepening of the relationships. It's so lovely to share that time and learning together. And so recently I reached out to Carmelo, our mutual friend in the area, who's also done the classes, but he and I weren't in class together. But I said, hey, do you want to practice? Like we could, get together and it just enhances it each time. And so it was so cool, one, to be with a guy because it's like more rare, like to have
Yes.
men in the classes. And just his approach was like it's it's like eating a smorgasbord of delicious food. It's like, oh, look at how he's doing the journeying, right? And like what how he's seeing and how he's um experiencing and communicating back to me. Um so I love it. Yeah, it was really fun to just know people in that way too and let everybody kind of do their thing. Isn't there a
Yeah.
girl in your class that does everything's like fairies and things like
Christy.
she sees? Yeah. Oh, I'm meeting her.
Christy. Yeah, we're gonna meet her next week. I'm
Yeah.
gonna see her Tuesday evening. I'm so excited. Yeah, she's absolutely she's probably one of the most beautiful souls I've ever had the pleasure of meeting, and I can't wait to meet her in person. You're
Aw,
gonna love her too. Yeah, she's
yeah.
she's such a beautiful, beautiful person. Yeah, she's all fairies and elementals and the trees, and you connect great with her because the animals you
Yeah.
like to hone in on the animals too. I do too, but yeah, yeah, she's wonderful. And I know what you mean. It's so cool the way everybody journeys just a little bit different and sees different things. And that's one of the things that I wouldn't say it's like a negative critique or anything like that, but a few of the ladies really go in and spend so much time to the little pieces of detail. And I find that I don't do that as often. So I'm trying to shift that. And that's coming very naturally, honestly, because I did a journey for Becky, and it was like a 20-minute journey, and I recorded it. And I've said probably about 5 or 6 times throughout, like, this isn't for you, it's for me. I'm just trying to fix. I'm trying to fix, trying to fix. And finally, I'm like, I think I'm trying to fix, which is what, is not the goal. And it's really solidifying for me. And so I sent her the journey, and she was like, Sweetie, I think this is about you. I was like, yeah, I think you're right. And I said, I literally almost did not send her the
Yeah.
recording because I was like, I didn't get anything for you except for the fact that I'm here supporting you, and just kind of, yeah, followed her along on her journey a little bit and got more understanding. But
Yeah.
yeah, but it was really cool that I I've tried to do that a few times lately. I've tried to do it my whole life, but it's coming to a head now and it's more noticeable. But now that I am working on it, it's like making my heart so excited. And I think it's relaxing my masculine too, because it's the masculine that wants to fix, I think, more than the heart, even. And well, no, I think it's the heart that wants to fix, but the mind is trying to figure out how to fix. But if we remove that obligation from the mind, then it's free up to do other things.
Hmm.
And it's just more about understanding, because the goal isn't to fix, it's just to understand. And you can't fix anything for anyone else. You can't fix things for yourself in that matter unless it's, a specific thing that's getting worked out. But um, it's the understanding is the ultimate goal. It's not necessarily to fix the problem, because once you get the understanding, the problem just floats away. It's not there anymore. It's either you
Yeah.
don't see it as a problem or it's just not there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a cool couple weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are big learnings. And I think it's a good like jumping off point to talk about integrating journeying into a yoga session. Like
Yes.
why would I do that? What's that about? And I think and we can talk more about this tomorrow too, but so the premise of my new company name is YBK Wellness, and it's your body knows. Your body
Your
knows.
dog is in the background. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, she's gonna.
Gotta acknowledge the puppy. What's the puppy's name?
This is Noodle. Hey,
Oh, Noodle. Get over here, Noodle.
she's been really restless. Usually she just lays in her little bed next to me while I teach, but she's like kind of going back and forth. But she just had a potty break, so she should be fine. Yeah, good girl. She'll come back. Well, maybe not. She's gone to her other bed. Um, but so basically the company name, Your Body Knows Wellness, is to give that um I don't want to say control, but teachers and healers and everybody, doctors and try to like take control over the healing, or even like taking your experience, like, oh no, this is what you're experiencing, this is what you need to do, this is what I see. Now I'm a technician and I have a skill set in reading frequency and body and motion and in um alignment and safety and movement and efficiency and all the things you want. Like, you want a result of like better balance or strength, and I can get you there. Like, I can roadmap it for you, but I'm just the coach, right? Like, I'm just the cheerleader and kind of watching and providing a little guidance, and that it really is an internal experience, and you already know what you need to do is sort of the same. It's how I've approached my yoga more recently, letting go of old paradigms and old ways of looking at it. And so the journeying just felt like a natural extension of that, because the precursor for journeying is relaxation. And if you can't find relaxation in your body, or you have pain, or your discomfort takes over, you can't ever reach that point. It's more difficult. It's not that you can't ever reach it, it just becomes more difficult. So helping people find and deepen their sense of relaxation, and then guiding a little into this process of dropping into our hearts and dropping into our own knowing and dropping into our bodies. And that's where, the gold is. So I've added this idea of not just kind of a guided relaxation, though that's a kind of core component too. A lot of people do need kind of a step down from their mind back
Yeah.
to their breathing, back to their bodies, and then into their heart. Like, it's a lot for a lot of people. It's practice. And then the more you practice, as you know, the more and more you're able to find that place more quickly. And as like Becky said recently, like I'd just like to live there the whole time that I'm,
Right.
in life. Like, wouldn't that
And
be?
wouldn't we all? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of the goal, I think. So, and specifically with yoga, I have found in the way that I work therapeutically that I want to know, I do get a sense, I get a read off of somebody, and often it is like a secondary conversation that's going on, like journeying, where they're talking to me. I mean, they might be like, "Hey, the Cubs won last night," or whatever they're like, and another part of them is showing me like, oh, I want to, stretch this part of my back, or ooh, this exercise would feel really good. So I've always been an interpreter in that way, and I know I can feel the difference when it's coming from them often because it'll be a surprise. Like I'll have thoughts of like, oh, I'm gonna do, neck stretching in this class or whatever, or shoulder openers. And then I get to the client and I'm like, oh no, we're doing hips and legs today, like, or, whatever. And then it's sort of like a surprise and I have to go with the flow of where they are. But I really like people being able to, they might not have a sense of that. So I like to bring a sense of that into the session so that they're actually vocalizing, feeling, and getting in whatever way they can in touch with that and bringing that advocacy for themselves to the session so they can say, oh, I think this or this, yeah, they can lean on me for a little expertise in how to do a pose, but I really, I want that active participation because, as you know, that's the path to healing, that's the path to really, sovereignty. Um, so that's why I've merged it into my therapeutic yoga sessions.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Are we
I
gonna do a
love
little
it. I love it.
pass?
Yeah. So I have to wait. How do you start? Let's just go through how
You
you would
just
typically
Yeah, so we'll just
exactly what
like
you would do.
a typical thing. So that was like my little you would have known all of that before coming in for our session. And then we'd just catch up a little bit and then you just can tell me. So I usually say like how's your body? And
Okay. So how's my body?
yeah.
My body is, I've felt very disconnected from my body for a long time. 19 months postpartum, and I don't. That's one of the few things I feel like I wasn't really warned about with regard to my body. So it took almost a year to really feel like connected to my abdomen again. And I've always had kind of, uh, well, I was very lucky growing up. I never gained weight. I could eat whatever I wanted. And then once I hit about 18, that all changed, of course. So there was periods in time where I gained weight and lost weight, but it's like I've always felt disconnected from my body. Like it's not like I felt like my body was ever a representation of me, so to speak. Even when I looked fit and thin, I still didn't feel like it was a representation of me.
Mm,
Um, I feel emotion like coming up just talking about that. Um, Now I'm at my heaviest. I haven't, lost the baby weight, but it's more than just about the weight. It's about I want to feel good in my body. Um, and there has been times where I have, and that's the interesting thing too is I did intermittent fasting for years. So before I got pregnant, I for about 5 years, on occasion I would eat. If I was on vacation or there'd be different things, dinners, lunches with friends or something would impact that. But for the most part, I didn't eat until probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I would stop eating by like 7, 8 o'clock at the latest. And I did that for 5 years straight. And that worked really well for me. I was I had energy. I felt good. I
Mhm.
wasn't always at my lowest weight, but I felt good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So the general sense of kind of disconnection, finding your way back to your body after having a baby, it's a big journey. And then the sort of question or curiosity, would intermittent fasting help again? Or is that what you're sort of looking for too? It's like what does the body need for this transition into feeling more like yourself?
I don't think that nutrition is going to be the key. I think there's probably work on my masculine that needs to be done. So, with working with Becky for the last 6 years, it's been 100% about the feminine. And I think that I'm getting ready to kind of transition into working more with the masculine that needs to heal within my body. And I know that's a reflection of the body. And I think that's why I feel the disconnection. I do think that intermittent fasting would be a great way to go again, and I do it on occasion, but I'm still nursing, so it's kind of hard to still. I still got to be getting my nutrients. I still taking my vitamins, and um, yeah, so it's just a little trickier with doing the intermittent fasting. But I still do it somewhat. Like today, for example, when I work, it's much easier to kind of skip those morning meals and eat when I get home at 2:30, 3 o'clock. And I
Yeah.
do feel better today than I would on, most days, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, those are things to pay attention to. And just there's so many, as you know, in just healing in general, things change and shift by the moment, and our bodies are super dynamic, just like the earth. And so it's a listening, just like we're dropping into our hearts to listen to some of our deeper wisdom. There's a wisdom and an intelligence in our bodies as well that is um, worthy of, like, yeah, coming into relationship with and just touching in with and feeling in with. And so what we'll do is we'll start with a journey. And when we do this, you already know how. But for somebody who never had, I just sort of guide them through some deep relaxation, and I'll do a similar sort of short version for you. And then I'm going to journey to you to ask sort of this deeper question, and we'll go over it one more time so we both have it really clear, about this disconnection from your body, like your body not feeling like you. Um, and then you will pick that same query, something to sit with and to allow your heart to guide you to that body wisdom that wants to present itself. And then we just talk a little bit back and forth afterwards. It doesn't have to be like a lot, just enough to feel like you've integrated some of it. Some of it you might take forward into more journeys. It's usually like one journey begets another journey begets, like, the process. So I would say that's the place we'll start. And somebody who's a beginner or new to that, I just usually let them know it can be a sensation. It doesn't have to be some kind of visual experience, internal experience. Um, it can be abstract. It could be very like detailed and real, like my left fingernail is pulsing or something, and maybe without context. So just try not to judge whatever your experience is, and don't have any expectations, because honestly, just even relaxing with the intention is enough to make change. So let yourself off the hook from having any kind of particular experience, right? Um, so I generally wear my little headset too when I guide, and it was beeping at me earlier. So let me see if I can get it to, huh. Okay, let me see. Hopefully it'll.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can't hear you. Hold on one second. I
Mm.
think. Oh, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you
Okay.
hear me or is it okay?
Yeah, no, you were perfectly fine. It was really weird.
Okay.
I had my alarm on my cell phone. Somehow, these are newer earbuds.
Oh, was it going off in your
Yeah, but so I
Yeah.
guess it's connected to both my phone and the laptop at the same time.
Yeah, that happens on these. I have to make sure that it's not, especially if I'm jumping on the Zoom, I got to make sure that it doesn't it's still not connected to my phone. Okay, so you're just gonna find yourself, you have a mat and you can get comfy. You can sit if you're more, you know what? No, let's do a on your back because
Pull
that's
on my back.
yeah. Yeah,
You
because
know what?
we'll do it. It'll let you be a little more relaxed. So if you
Okay.
want, yeah, you could grab a pillow, you can have a blankie, you just want to be uber comfortable. Um,
Should I pop on the couch or should I?
yeah, you can go on the couch if
Okay.
you feel like
Yeah,
it.
that'll probably be more comfortable than the floor.
Yeah,
All right.
good. And so just getting relaxed. And for this journey, we're gonna make sure, yeah, your body is open and relaxed. So we're not gonna cross our legs or our arms. You're just gonna sort of be supported by the pillows and the couch and just making sure, do you feel comfortable through your back and your feet and everything there. And then let's talk just real quick again about the journey that we're both going to do. I'll be journeying to you to for some insight and further wisdom, and you'll be journeying into your own heart and asking for that connection to your body wisdom through the heart. Really, it's all just heart. So, so what would you like if you had to say it again out loud? Kind of like what are you most curious about? What would be really helpful for you to explore?
I guess just feeling more in my body. I don't feel like there's anything specific. Just having more actual physical sensation in my body.
Okay, that's great. So we're gonna go in and we'll just spend a few minutes. I'll start us with just some deep relaxation, and we're gonna ask for um, some more understanding around and maybe some specific tips on how to feel more in your body. And I'm going to also throw in what you said earlier and just more like yourself in your body. Okay. So you can close your eyes and just start to relax, feeling all of the places where your body meets the surface beneath you. And so feeling your head on the pillow and just allowing your head to rest and soften against the pillow and feeling the muscles in your neck relaxing. Noticing your breath, just noticing when you breathe in and when you breathe out. Just paying attention, noticing your breath in and noticing your breath out. Maybe even noticing the quality of the breath. Is it shallow? Is it more difficult to breathe in or out or easier? And you're not really aiming to change the breath all that much. We're just allowing it to come in and out, feeling everything beginning to sink even further down into the couch. So your neck, across your throat, relaxing, Relaxing your face, all the little muscles that you're so familiar with to your job. Feeling all the muscles around the eyes and the forehead and the cheeks and the jaw. Just relaxing. Maybe noticing if the breath could be deeper, slower, maybe even smoother as you relax down into your shoulders and your arms, feeling all the places the backs of your arms meet the couch, feeling held through your back, across your back, down your back, and letting go of any unnecessary tension through the hips, through the buttocks, even through all the internal organs, getting a nice deep rest as you relax even further into the couch. Feeling your leg muscles slowly soften, release. Your joints are supported. You can let go and just really deeply relax all the way down through your knees, relaxing your shins, your calves. And this deep relaxation stretches all the way down to the tips of your toes. And you may feel so relaxed. It's like you're in a cocoon of deep relaxation. And as you feel this relaxation deepening, softening, allowing yourself to come inside into your heart, taking our inquiry with you, allowing your heart to teach you and show you. And we'll just be in silence here together for the next few moments as you explore what your heart and your body wisdom would like to show you about feeling more sensation, feelings in your body, feeling more like yourself in your body. And you're breathing again, noticing the breath, taking anything with you and sensation, experience from your journey. Just knowing you'll remember everything. You start to slowly breathe a little deeper. You can wiggle toes and fingers and gently coming back into the room. And just taking your time. You can open your eyes when you're ready. And just take your time if you want to come to an upright position again or wherever you're most comfortable. And how was that for you?
That was really nice. Um, I didn't even have to go deep to get a lot of information. It was wonderful because I wasn't deep. I was very much in my body. And usually when I'm journeying, I'm just like out of here. I got the answers really quickly, and a lot of it makes sense in general. I've talked a lot about this, especially as of late, as far as, you can't resist certain emotions and then expect other emotions to still be as vibrant. Your bad emotions, your pain, your sadness, your anger, you try and dull those down because you by resisting them, and you resist all your emotions. It kind of puts a damper on the whole way across the board, and it's kind of like that. My perspective of usually when I'm focused on my body, it's a headache or a neck ache or an ache in the body, and although there are times where I'm very grateful and I give gratitude for my body because I know how hard the body works to keep me in this 3D life, but it comes from a very love and light perspective. In fact, I don't think I ever gave my body gratitude until I was in the love and light community. So there's some exploration to go deeper on that for sure. It's really interesting, but that came to me right away. So what I see and what I need to do is, um, and I feel like this is kind of happening right now naturally, is being, I'm being more in my body regardless, just because of the healing work that I've done. The more that I do sessions for other people, like the more it just amplifies my healing incredibly. It's such a beautiful thing to be able to help other people in this way, and I reap such a beautiful reward at the same time. It's really hard to believe that that's even possible, but it's just how it works. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gaining so much more understanding and appreciation for myself in general. So it's only natural to include the body in that. So instead of just waiting until I have an ache or something, it used to be obviously I would resist that, kind of like the emotions things, what I was saying. But I've gotten to the point where I don't do that anymore. Instead, I try to journey on it and find out why I'm having that issue. And it can sometimes be hard to do if you have like a really intense headache or something like that. And it's always tricky looking at your own stuff. Obviously, it's easier to have someone else, look at you. And I have, we have a great community of people that we can ask for that assistance.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of waiting until that happens, just taking time to acknowledge. And because when I was asking, what can I do to feel more connected to my body? It was like, oh, well, thank you for asking. You've never asked that before. And that was all my body was kind of waiting for. It
Yeah.
was like, well, now that you ask, let's
Yeah.
explore. So it was like it just opened up a floodgate of, what do you want me to tell you? How are you feeling here or there? So that was, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, it sounds like an invitation to dance now. Like,
Right?
let's
I
let's
do
do
love to
this.
dance, and yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not out in public, usually just with my daughter
But just
or by
yeah.
myself.
Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, and then yeah, more and more reveals and more of that same kind of listening and yeah, that's beautiful. That's great. Um, and I like the sense of like an embodied relaxation, like you described.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
versus like a drop and yeah, and go. And I know that sensation. Sometimes it feels like, you're so deeply that you're coming back to the body and it's like, oh wow. But that's wonderful. I'm glad. When I journeyed to you the first with that the first thing you showed me was um it was like a little girl energy and she was sort of all kind of like tucked under and almost like under a chair. You weren't that small, but sort of like tucked under and tucked and just sort of like um uncomfortable in not I wouldn't say there was any emotion outside of just sort of like that kind of a little bit like a little like kick in the dust kind of thing like and um maybe a little fear I would say. And then as I asked you um more about that, you were younger than when you went into puberty when you presented to me, but it was tied to the changes that your body was starting to make pre-puberty. It's like, we go through, everybody's different, but like as females, there's definitely this cycle of that first, bloom in puberty. And so there was like specifically a little discomfort and some emotions around that growing up into, what that meant. Um, and in puberty you go through such huge changes like it's
Yeah.
uh,
And I was going to mention that too. That came up too. I knew there was another thing.
yeah,
It didn't come at the
yeah,
top of my mind. So yes, 100%. Actually, before puberty, it's really hard as a girl. And I, some of the comments that grown men would make to a child is insane. And there's one in particular that popped into my head during the journey. And I was with a babysitter and we went to like her uncle's house or something like that. And he was like, "Oh, if I was a little younger," just this big, gross, like, I don't know, probably 50-year-old man. And I was 9 or 10. And he's like, "Oh, if I was a little younger, I'd take you out," or something like that. And I've, that's always been like burnt into my memory. But there was, a ton of different situations where men had said something like that. And yeah, so I think that plays into the disconnect as well, because that's what popped into my head. And there was another part about it. Just, oh, you know what? It goes into what other people think about my body, um,
mm,
in general, or just what other people think about me. Like a lot of people, I like wonder what somebody thinks about me, and especially when I was younger, that's all like I was so anxious and worried about what people thought about me. I'd do anything to fit in. I just felt so awkward and alone. And um, yeah, I was the girl who would just do whatever to try to fit in, and that made it awkward. And nobody wants to hang out with the inauthentic person. And yeah, childhood was really really tough for me. So um, yeah, so in general, worrying what other people thought about me, but then having grown men saying things like that about me, obviously based off of the way that I look,
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
is just it can really, I don't know, mess with a young girl. It's just
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So I know that there's little things like that that still are underlying that play a role in how I see my body as well.
yeah. And in the journey. It's sometimes just the mention and the shining of the light on the moment that frees it to move and move through
Yes.
us. And so we're talking before we move our bodies as a way to just allow it to naturally occur. We don't have to process it um, in any other ways together other than just kind of moving and after we talk. And I feel like the puberty that you showed me too in the journey was very linked to like, oh, here's another one. I just had a child. There's another big transition in womanhood. And they're both so huge. Like the changes that occur, miraculous stuff, like incredible stuff, beautiful stuff, like amazing stuff, but like a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
A lot. And so there's something parallel to the experience of just having given birth, and now you got to do it again. You got to step into another cycle of change, and that was like what you showed me pre-puberty. And not that you're resistant, you're just trying to find the way. And when I asked you what that is, like what would be helpful, you showed me a few things: dancing, and specifically moving your hips, getting down into some groovy stuff through your hips, maybe a
Yeah.
little, like and then you showed me just barefoot on grass or sand or anywhere you
Girl,
can be.
I've been barefoot my whole life.
Oh, life.
If I can
Yeah.
be barefoot, I will. I remember as a kid, like I grew up in Pennsylvania in the winters, my mom would be like, take the trash down to the front. And I'd go out in my bare feet. There'd be snow on the ground just because I hated having my feet separated from the earth. And I'm at the beach all the time now. And
Yeah.
yeah, my
Yeah.
feet, yeah,
Feels so
100%.
good.
So
Yeah.
good.
And that feeling that you know so well from being barefoot and loving it, that's just the reminder your body sometimes needs of, oh yeah, here we are. Here I am. Um, and then you also showed me yourself at a tree. So you were outside and that's very healing, but like when they show like the figures of the woman, um that just all the curves, all the beauty of womanhood and a curvaceous body, and then you sort of leaned into a tree and she took on the shape of like through her trunk and her limbs this like the beauty of all that, like the curvaceousness and really like the lusciousness of being a woman. And then I asked too if there was if any deeper aspects of you had anything to offer in terms of feeling like yourself in your body. And you're that sort of higher self, or I hate that term, but that part of you came
Yeah.
forward and said, I don't know, in a way, I can't relate to the physicality, right? Because that's not where I'm from. I'm not from there. Um, but I am in there. I am in every single cell. And there was just something really potent about that. Like every you as this, like we think of this, higher self of us or whatever that is. This sometimes it can feel like a lofty goal or something, but it's us and all of that brilliance and light and wisdom. And you said, I am in every single cell in this body. And so there couldn't be a place to be more you.
Yeah. That's so cool. And I know Becky talks about that. And I feel like there's part of me that hasn't processed that mentally and how magnificent that really is. That we really are that higher being that yeah, I don't love that terminology either, but
Yeah.
literally in every single cell of my body, I can't not be. That's my that's Lori's term, can't not happen, can't not
Yeah.
be. Love that. Um, in every single cell. So that is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like that's part of what's going to be my deeper understanding with this, because I'm really on a journey to embody my body. I did my last podcast with Tamsin, and she and I, we are just like, we've connected and we've just had such similar lives. And we, every time I journey for her, like more than anybody else, there's always so much for me to learn about myself. And she's talking a lot about like that's what she's working on right now. And I feel like I'm down that same path, but there's like this little bit of resistance. But there's like this excitement in me that it's like that resistance gone and it's been replaced with this excitement of moving forward. And I actually, for my next podcast, I'm chatting with Evelyn, and I don't know if you know
Oh
Evelyn.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know her.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes. So we're going to talk nutrition, and that's something I've
yeah,
never really have talked about. So again, being in the body, it's what I've been drawn to talk about. Obviously, I was drawn to you for more than just that, but it's just incredible
yeah,
that
yeah,
this is what you offer.
yeah,
But then I was, I've actually never connected with Evelyn one to one. We've messaged each other over the years, and we've been in the
yeah.
same healing group for many, many years in the same time slot range. So we know a lot of each other's stuff. She's probably heard me cry more than most people. So yeah,
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 yeah.
years of tears from this lady. So if you get look back,
Well,
you'll see it. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's good. That's good. She's lovely. We've talked because there's a similarity in like genre of sort of things and and she's a great like business woman too. Like she's got a great mind like you for that. And so you'll enjoy it. Um so yeah, usually then after we do our kind of journey and exchange of um experience and you can kind of hold some of those things, take those insights into other aspects. But one of the key components of like that wisdom that you brought through in my journey was being aware or just trying to bring your awareness to you are in all of you in every single cell of your body, every past life, everywhere you exist, everywhere is in every single cell. Everything you know, everything is there. So when Becky says everything you need is within you, it's not just the heart, it is mainly, but it's that in expression through every cell of the body. So when we do the thing that sort of sets yoga apart is the I'm so sorry. I don't know why my dog is being so anxious tonight. I'm gonna open the back door just in case she wants to go out on
yeah.
the patio. She's just, I've been teaching a lot, so I think she might just be like, dude.
Maybe
Um,
she wants to be on camera.
she's like, come on. She usually just relaxes and goes to sleep. Um, so one of the things that really sets yoga apart that's actually not often taught or talked about and sometimes in yoga classes is your breathing. There's a whole like subset of study into breathing and breathe. It gets into a little weird, like you can get into weird manipulations and that kind of stuff. I try to stay in the zone of what's really natural and true. Um, and so the breath is something we're aiming to just be aware of as we move our bodies. And often we're doing things too where you're doing a movement with a breath. So like you're going to raise your arm and you're going to inhale and you're going to lower your arm and you're going to exhale. And it's part of it is that awakening, that awareness of I am breathing myself into my body. I think that's another way Becky has said it too, like just breathe more of yourself into your body. You can
Yeah.
do that relaxed, like you were on the couch, and then you can explore it further in the movement practice. Um, and it doesn't have to be all like solemn and and like, oh my gosh, sorry. She's full out. Did you see?
Oh,
Oh my
so
God. Are you
cute.
I think she needs some stimulation. She's almost 12, but she's like really like ah. So sorry. So we'll see how much we can do in our movement. But the point I was making is like we want to breathe while we move, and there's lots of ways that we apply that in class. And part of it is that like the bottom line is just breathing more of you into your body, into that embodiment. But there's like practice within that, just keeping coming back to it. She's she's full out playing with her toy. So we'll see how we do. So have you done any yoga, Amanda? Have you done a little
I have
movement
done
before?
minimal yoga. I've done a couple classes with a friend. I've done
Okay.
paddleboard yoga, which was so much fun. That
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
yeah, that was more just about staying on the paddleboard.
Yeah, like just not, yeah.
My only
Okay.
goal was to not be the first person to fall into the water, which I did succeed. I wasn't the first,
Good, 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 yeah.
but it was so much fun. You wanted to fall in the water anyway because it was super hot. So,
Yeah, yeah. So I'll just walk you through like two or three moves together. And I always say the basics are something this dog is probably not gonna. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
It's going to be like some dog yoga, like they do goat yoga.
She's just like running in and out. She is full out puppy mode. Okay. So I'm gonna walk you through. We'll just start with like one or two movements, and then I'll kind of do this connection with the breath and the relaxation, um, and just allow, that part of you. Gosh,
I
come
love
on,
it. Oh
Yoga.
my gosh, I love it so much.
She's never like this wound up. Usually she's like mellow dog on the couch. So basically, we're going to just roll down onto our mat. There's one point of awareness. And so it's like, think of all the things we just learned too from you, like your feet on the earth. It's really grounding for you, very embodying for you. So just feeling your feet on the mat. Um, and as you roll back, you're going to try to go slowly and think of like one vertebra at a time. It might be really hard because it's using a lot of those core muscles. And then you're going to relax down on your back. Beautiful. That's it. And so we're just in this nice, easy, relaxed position on our backs. And we're going to windshield wiper our knees. So all that means is I'm going to let my knees drop to one side, maybe feel a little twist through the back, through the hip, and then come back through middle and let my knees windshield wiper to the other side. Yeah. And then you can think about that breath application, like inhaling through the middle, exhaling as the knees fall to the side, inhaling through the middle, exhaling as they fall. And in the beginning, you just want to breathe smoothly and consistently. So, whether that's in and out through your nose, in through the nose, out through the mouth, whatever combination feels most natural to you. And then settling back to that center position. And we're just going to, yay, yoga. That's what I always say. I don't say namaste anymore. I just say, yay, yoga.
Yay.
Yay! It's so good. It's so
It
yummy.
was so different than what I've experienced. Well, I've kind of felt under pressure when it was the few times that I've done yoga because it was like when I went with a friend who was, I mean, she's a yoga instructor now, rightfully so. She was fantastic at it. She'd been doing it for years, and I've just always looked at it as like a workout or an obligation, or again, not connecting to the body, not like this. This definitely shifted my perspective in doing it this way. It's really, really cool. And just like journeying takes so much practice to get that confidence. It takes so much practice. It's like, for some reason, some part of my little girl version of myself still thinks that things just come easily to everybody and it doesn't take, practice. And so I'll see what somebody can do and it's like, oh, well, they're just, they have a gift or they're talented. And it's like, no, they probably put a lot of effort into what they're doing to get where they are. It's not, you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, lots and lots of years. And really because it brings me just joy because I just love movement and I don't just do yoga, I do other, like you see my steel maces in the background and other weird things that I like to get into and martial arts and dance and like Zumba I got into recently and I just find it really, really potent in the healing of and not always, I'm not always all in it and feeling my higher self like in every single cell, but it's,
yeah,
it's coming back to it. Just like journeying, you sit down and sometimes it's like, oh, it's not like it's not flowing. So it's like just yeah, a lot of practice. Yeah.
very cool though. This definitely changed my perspective. Not that I had a negative perspective on yoga, but it just always felt like going to the gym in my mind. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't any different. And I don't consciously, I don't believe that. And what I just experienced doesn't align with that. Um, I think this might be, and Becky told me years ago that yoga would be fantastic for me. And she even said
Yeah.
she thought I'd be pretty good at it. Um,
Yeah, we should do more
Many
of it
years
then.
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I just got off with Jessica, who's in gold and was in all my RV
Mm-hmm.
classes and Carmela was like, I want to do some yoga. We could do a little like group or something and everybody can just, donate. It's I did a group class with with some of the RV ladies too, and it was, and there's a lot, it's the guiding, right? It's like I said, a lot of people don't even talk about the breath because they're just doing the movements and their minds are like, like, but it's when you really bring those things together, mind, body, breath, however you want to discuss it, that's the word itself means union. It's like a
Wow.
yoke, it means like the yoke of the cart, that pulls the cart, that connects the ox and the cart. So the yoke or union, so that's the design, that's what it was designed for. But it's taken, yeah, it's all kinds of, Carmela and I were talking about all the hot yoga classes and all the like, yeah. And there's a particular way that I've learned to move with it. And it's not that like, oh, this is better than this or that, but there is a natural flow of energy in our spines and moving with that in integrity also is very generative and very supportive. Um, so you should feel like that relaxed. My karate teacher calls it relaxed heavy. Sometimes I call it like knuckle dragging, when you're like, when you're just like, we're just like, oh man, that's how I feel coming out of the ocean, like that,
Yeah.
um, that sense of connection. And I always like to reference gravity. I was going to ask Becky this in a Q&A too, because I've always used it in my cueing and like it's because I feel like it's such a hug from Mother Earth to us. This like, this sense of my body here. And gravity is something we have all the time to like just tune into for a moment and really feel that. Like the magnitude of that is pretty fucking amazing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been fantastic. I'm so glad that we did this. I feel like
Yay.
there's more, like, I feel like there's more to process. And I did hear, well, was in it, I heard like myself say, welcome to feeling your body. So it was like
Oh,
kind of like a new experience. And I could feel some
yeah.
emotions come up with it too. So I know that the journey that you did in the beginning is like, there's more to that.
Yeah.
To go deeper with, which is great. I'm just glad I didn't cry. I mean, if I did, oh well.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you save that for later.
Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoyed the
Mm.
movement and the yeah, yeah,
Good. Hey. And are we gonna do like podcast mode tomorrow then? Or
yeah,
you want to
yeah.
do?
Tomorrow we'll do more like chat and maybe tell me more about your journey in your
Yoga.
learning of yoga and maybe just talk
Yeah.
more yoga. Maybe I can learn some more
Yeah.
about you, more about yoga, more about
Yeah.
just chatting, just
Or
let the
yeah.
conversation go where it's going to go because that's kind of what
Yeah.
I want to be about with my podcast. Um, I don't want it to be scripted. I don't want it to be a Q&A or anything like that. Um,
Yeah.
so
Let it
yeah,
flow. I'll look a
just
little
open
more.
conversation.
I'll polish. I'll polish myself up. But this is like, I was like, oh darn, I forgot we were gonna tape this. But I'm like,
Whatever. You look awesome.
this,
You look
this
awesome.
is this is what I look like when I teach. So yeah, I'm like, all right, this is it.
This is the closest
Um,
thing I got to like a yoga outfit. This
I
is my
like
I
that.
love
I
this
saw the
shirt.
beach as my happy
It's
place.
just my
Yeah,
happy
that's so
place.
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
It
it's
sure
so
is.
good. Um, yeah, and I think there's so much to explore with women and body everything, image, experience, and yeah. So we'll talk more tomorrow. What time are we gonna do it? What time did you want to meet? I don't I don't know if we ever settled on an exact time, but
I think you penciled it in 6 o'clock.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And then I think I'll sit, well, maybe I'll sit in here. I don't know. It's such a nice little area, but I might sit at my desk too. Why did that just say? And then,
If anything changes too, I could probably start earlier. But we can touch base tomorrow too if you whatever works. It'll
yeah,
fall into place just like today.
yeah, that works. And I appreciate you and I'm excited for you. And yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
gonna be really good.
I'm excited too. I'm really excited about, like I was saying earlier, how you're taking the journeying and mixing it with the yoga and how unique it is. Um, I mean, the sessions that I offer, I mean, they're pretty much exactly like what Becky does, but different. You know, our own way of journeying, but it's still just time frame of session of journeying wherever my heart takes me. So it's very similar where this has put a creative aspect on it to like do these podcasts, these like where I have a co-host and I'm just talking with somebody. And
Yeah.
I was saying in the last one too, and I've said to a few people that I've been trying to talk into doing this with me, it's like these are conversations that we would be having anyway. These are our normal conversations. Let's just put it out there and allow people to see what it looks like to have a conversation with people like us. It
Yeah,
can take
yeah.
a wild turn. Who knows what might pop
Yeah,
up.
where it could go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. But
wait,
just
we might land on Yetis tomorrow. You never know.
we'll keep it interesting. That's for sure. We'll be.
Yetis and yoga. That's what my website should be. That would be great. I might try to get that domain because I love it. Because I love Yetis.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yetis and yoga. Somebody probably already has it, but yeah. Anyway, I got silly. Okay, so we'll talk tomorrow. I'll make sure my earbuds are all charged up and um yeah, that I put on clothes and brush my hair. All right, my friend. I'll see you
It'll be
then.
good.
Have a good
Yes. Thank you so much for
evening.
this. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.